My name is Ismail. I live with sickle cell anemia, and I'm also an advocate for patients. I was born in West Africa in a country called Niger. Right now, I live in Montreal, Canada, and I work as a pharmacy technician. As a child living with sickle cell, it was something that was constantly present in my life. I was really sick often, which meant I missed a lot of school. Treatment were pretty basic, and it just consisted of blood transfusions when a crisis occurred, instead of actually treating the disease itself. And my parents decided in the end of 80s, beginning of the 90s, to stop blood transfusions together because it was something that was becoming too risky because of the arrival of HIV in Africa. Leaving Africa was a whole new adjustment into itself, learning to navigate a new healthcare system, then not just treating the pain, but also preventing it. When I was in Africa, the conversation always happened between a parent or the guardian that was there at the appointment and the doctor. And then the big shift for us that happened was when we immigrated. Now the conversation happened between me and the doctor, even though the guardian was in the room. Now that I was in the driver's seat of my own health, I needed to learn what adherence to treatment was, and it wasn't something that was my priority as a teenager. I never played any sports until the age of 13 because it was something that was for a medical reason. And all of a sudden, I went from zero to wanting to play sports, playing PE, staying with friends after school, and after the sports, now going home, hanging out. And that was the kind of things that got me back into the hospital, because I wasn't at the level where the treatment was already optimal, because it was still trial and error. As a patient, even with sickle cell for a long time, I never planned ahead. It was something that came with the disease. Hearing early that sometimes in the next 12 years you're going to pass away. It was conversation that was had in the doctor's office when I was in Africa, right? So college was never something that was on my map because I was always living day to day. And all of a sudden immigrating to Canada and then having new treatment options, then now I was able to go to college. It was kind of like a new frontier for me, like to explore. It was something that I really enjoyed, but it was also something that reminded me of the realities of the disease that I live with. I had understood how to explain my condition to people, but in a way that they understood that there was a gravity to it, and that there was also, if something happened to me, this is what you need to do. Being involved in the sickle cell community, it was something obvious to do. Being able to share tips and tricks, it was a very liberating sense, and feeling part of a group who understood you. Something that I learned personally was like how to do what is called a comprehensive care. That it wasn't only about my treatment itself, it was also about my lifestyle, it was also about my nutrition, it was also about my mental health. So being able to seek those knowledges permitted me to advocate better for myself, which is where I personally came into advocacy, because that whole discovery for me also highlighted a huge gap in the community, which was, as much as the information was there, not everybody had access to it at the same rate or at the same speed. I started a Facebook group where we would take the information that we would find to share it with people in West Africa, and that it was easily digestible and also, most importantly, translated. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is what gives you agency over your condition. Being able to learn how to manage your disease will be the thing that will get you through it the most.